Alright guys, so this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from Lamanta Benson, and this is another old series. I really need to figure out how to mix separate the continuities from an old man series I've been doing. Because I did a lot for Hunter Johnson, then there was my continuity. Now we have Lamanta Benson doing Old Lady Juniper. So yes, this is the first time I think I've ever talked about Juniper Lee. Like, I really do think this is the first time ever on my channel I ever talked about Juniper Lee. Mostly because, okay, so interesting fact about Juniper Lee and my whole thing with it was that Juniper Lee was basically a cartoon that was in my time, but I never got to see it on television. I never saw, it always came on in these weird times that I never got to watch it as a kid. So I have been finding the episodes on YouTube and whatnot, and I have been watching a few of the episodes, but I'm still not, I would say 100% a master. I would say I'm well versed in the show of Juniper Lee, but yeah, hopefully I have enough experience to do this video justice. So let's get into it. So our story begins after the events of like I said, a hero holocaust, and in here, what we're going to be talking about is more of what happened to magic after the events of the hero holocaust, where a lot of the when the magical side of heroes and whatnot were attacked, they got hammered, because what happened was all the magical villains in the universe got together. They basically pooled their magic together to form this massive spell that made all of their magic inert. It was the only thing that works now is dark magic, and if you use dark magic, it's going to corrupt you. It's going to corrupt you, and any other kind of magic other than the dark magic we use, it's going to just corrupt you, and you're just going to go evil anyway. So if you do, it's basically you're fucked either way. That's how it basically is you are essentially fucked, 8 ways from Sunday, either way. That's how this is how this is playing out. You're just fucked no matter what. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so we cut to the future, and Juniper was among those affected by the spell. But the thing is she's still, learning to use magic, but the problem is the more it's just corrupting her. It's more and more of her body is being, decayed by this dark magic. And it's more or less, just kind of, creeping up her, it's kind of it's almost like force corruption, where it's making her skin a lot paler. She's having an avoidance to light, and it's almost making she's becoming subhuman in a way. But she has to keep using it because the little town she now lives in, it's kind of under the thumb of Toffee, who is from Star vs. the Forces of Evil, who is kind of the warlord of the area. All the villains kind of just vied for territory, and Toffee took over a large amount of what was some of Southern California, into some of the Arizona and New Mexico. That's all of his territory, and some parts of Mexico as well. So Toffee Toffee's the warlord here, and it's funny, I wanted to, this version of Toffee's a lot old. He's got now all gray hair, and he's now has again his battle his old war armor he used to fight with Moon in. He has two skulls on it, but one is Star's skull and the other is Marco's skull on it. And Juniper is just trying to survive, because hunting heroes is like hunting lost Jedi, because all the villains know we know we didn't get everybody. We are well aware, we know we did not get everyone in the Holocaust, but if we find them, we will kill them. Now, Juniper believes, because magic was completely corrupt and all that's left is dark magic, but Juniper believes there's a way to save magic for the future. There could be a way to save the world of magic in the future, but the only way to do that is to kill the thing that gave them the magic in the first place. The only way to do that is to kill the one thing that gave them the magic in the first place, and that was basically Loki. Yeah. For those who haven't watched Juniper, Loki was kind of a big villain in the series. So Juniper has to go out and hunt and begin a hunt down for Loki. Like, that's her whole thing, is that she's going out in it and fighting her way through a strange world, because a lot of the Southwest, like a lot of the Southwest territories, are all like where magic-based characters are, where a lot of like magical-based villains and whatnot have been kind of roosted. And the more she fights and the more she keeps fighting her way through all of these villains, they're basically like they're basically like forcing her to use more magic and more magical artifacts that have all been corrupted, and it's killing her like a magical cancer. Until finally she manages to fight her way to Loki. Who is basically like kind of, I wanted to have like it be a fun nod to like the J. Michael Straczynski Thor run, where the Asgardians lived in Bronxton, Oklahoma. So Oklahoma is where Loki has made like a little his own little version of his kingdom. So Juniper continues to fight her way through all of it, and eventually, because she's got really nothing to lose, because she revealed that, yeah, my whole family's dead, my teacher is dead, my grandmother is dead, I lost everybody in that whole event, and I barely put up a fight I don't know if I'm the last hero or not, but I'm gonna make sure you die too. So Loki and Juniper fight, but the thing is that Juniper is just too weak at this point to even stop Loki. Like, it's not like, yeah, it's kind of pointless at this point, where Loki just kind of proves that, yeah, he's grown more powerful over the years. He didn't like get old and like slow down. He just basically just got more experienced and more powerful. But yeah, so Juniper, in one last final act, basically manages to harness the last little light of pure magic and unleashes it into the world, dying in the same place, but now her soul is like attached to that magic and is purified from the spell the villains cast. So now, even though she died, she didn't defeat Loki, but now magic has a chance to like heal and no longer be inert or corrupted. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much Old Lady Juniper. So yeah, there you go, guys. Just comment below what you guys think of it, and once again, thank you, Lamont Benson, for coming up with it, for sending this Patreon request, as well as continued patron support. As always, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.